Hi everyone, thank you for joining us. I'm Gunther Boutsen, part of the marketing team at VaultSpeed, and we're very excited to talk to Pierre Everard. Welcome Pierre, who works for Degroof Petercam, one of our major customers. Jonas is here as well, Jonas de Keuster, he's Vice President Marketing. And so Pierre, to start with you, tell us a bit about your background and what you're doing for Degroof.
Okay, hello everyone. Again, thank you for having me here today. I'm really glad. So, my name is Pierre Everard. I'm 42 years old. I'm a senior executive developer and technical leader of the team IT Data Management at the Degroof Petercam, and I work there since 12 years now. I'm mainly involved in every project that are related to data, and as our enterprise data warehouse is a central piece of every project, we can say that I'm working on almost every project.
Okay, and tell us a bit about Degroof. We all know it's a sort of big private banking institution in Belgium, but what is it exactly that they do?
Okay, so Degroof Petercam is a private bank and an investment house with an history dating back from 1871. So we are an independent group owned by a family of shareholders with a long-term commitment. We have clients over 22 countries, and we provide to them a unique combination of service in private banking, institutional asset management, investment banking, and asset services.
Okay. And what about you, Jonas? Because you're doing marketing today, but you do have a data engineer background.
Yeah, that's correct. I have a technical background, so I did a lot of data warehouse consultancy in the past before I moved into this role. But I have always liked explaining data vault and automation and data warehousing, so gradually rolled into that role today, yes.
No need to introduce VaultSpeed really, because otherwise you wouldn't be watching this, but for those of you who don't know, we're doing data vault automation, we're the #1 platform. And so let's talk a bit about the experience we have with Degroof. Pierre, what is the story about what you did with VaultSpeed? So my first question is, why were you looking for a data warehouse automation solution in the first place, and how did you encounter VaultSpeed?
Okay, so as a financial institution, we are under a lot of regulation, and we must provide a lot of regulatory reporting, both for internal customer but also external auditors, and we need to deliver them fast. So in the past, our existing data warehouse had become old, slow, and we can say obsolete. So we were looking for another model into the market, and we thought, Data Vault seems to be a good candidate for us to answer all our new needs. And after a few investigations, we understood as well that Data Vault was a pattern-based model. That means that we could use an automated tool to help us to build it. And then we were looking for that, and we thought, VaultSpeed seems to be also a perfect match for us, as they have already a lot of experiences, and also they are completely compliant with Data Vault 2.0. So we have decided to do a proof of concept. That proof of concept was a compliance project, a real business case that we had. And when we were able to prove that it was up to the task, the shareholders were really happy with the result, and we have decided to release that into the production environment, and as we speak, they are still using it.
That's cool. And if I can add, we get this a lot, right? So if companies want to do data vault and they're convinced of data vault, VaultSpeed is often the automation tool of choice, and it makes sense in a way because we have like not that much, but we have like a decade of experience, over almost 12 years of experience in data warehouse integration, data vault as well. We started that in 2008. So a lot of the problems that our customers that are new to data vault experience today, we have experience fixing those problems. We actually embedded a lot of the knowledge we have built up over the years into our product, and I think if customers are convinced of Data Vault, then VaultSpeed is an obvious choice if you want to do automation.
Okay, I get that. And so Bank Degroof immediately made a big jump to modernize their data stack, and then they went for, let's say, Data Vault automation in the cloud. But on the other hand, and I do know that because I used to work a lot with banks, banks always have problems with legacy, right? They have all these legacy sources, especially because banks always invested a lot in mergers and acquisitions, so they have this super diverse technical landscape. So how did you deal with that?
Yeah, but what you said, it's correct. In fact, we are currently implementing a new core banking system, and that's a huge project. And VaultSpeed and Data Vault really make it easier to be able to load all those kind of systems inside the enterprise data warehouse, and then to help us to build what they need for the consumer. And for that, I have a simple example that you can see maybe on the slide, where we could have as a model two different systems, a legacy one and a new one, that both contain party information. So as a model, you will have a hub called Hub Party, and you will have two different satellites, one for the legacy system and one for the new system, where you will find, of course, all your descripted fields and also the historization of it.
Yeah, it's indeed a functionality that we have in VaultSpeed where you can integrate sources coming from multiple source systems. For example, the party is an example that you see a lot. It's one of the biggest dimensions that you have, especially at a bank. You're always talking about people or companies buying these products or investing. And so what you get is actually a hub group where you have on the one hand side the satellites from source 1, on the other side the satellite from source 2, and the data is integrated at the same in the same business concept.
So Pierre, now you have this central data warehouse with a central data vault model, but on the other hand, this data warehouse, I can imagine, assume lots of different internal customers, and these customers, they all can behave as like different data silos. So how do you avoid that?
So indeed, we have a lot of different departments, and everyone needs some aggregate views to be able to help them for their business or gather data-driven insights. I do believe also that, of course, a lot of departments such as compliance, HR, accounting, tax, also needs different type of data for their daily work. My belief is that Data Vault, one of their strong points is that the level of integration is quite unmatched compared to the other model technique, in my opinion. And what we have done at our side is we have built an information mart on top of the raw Data Vault, where we have a star schema that combines all the common data that are shared across all the different departments. And that way I think we are trying to avoid the data silo.
Yeah, it's indeed correct, and you see it. I mean, we've implemented, our customers have implemented this a lot. It's a bit where you have the data vault as the raw vault, where you have the information that comes from the sources in the raw form, and then you can choose. You have of course the fact that people in an organization can have multiple versions of the truth. So wherever they can share, sharing is caring. I mean, they can help. They can help each other by building certain elements on top of the raw vault in the business vault. But where their views often differ, where they have different view on business. An example can be that, for example, there's one department and they want to know, or they have a definition on what revenue is for them. And then on the other hand, you have, for example, in a bank, it happens a lot, I guess, the regulatory definition of what revenue is. Mm-hmm. And these might be different definitions, but the cool thing about Data Vault is that you base them on the same raw materials. So the revenue might be different, because of the difference in business definitions, but at least it's based on the same core raw source material. So that will never be the reason why you get a difference in a report. And I think that's very important, very big plus for Data Vault that it is able to provide that.
Pierre, you mentioned earlier that you switched to a new core banking engine, but you also made a switch to cloud native data warehouse automation, which is what VaultSpeed provides. And I can imagine that from a security point of view, that raised eyebrows. There were a lot of internal discussions. Is that the case?
No, not at all. In fact, VaultSpeed doesn't have access to any of our data.
No, indeed. So the way VaultSpeed is built, it's an architecture where you have, of course, the cloud application, where all the logic and where the metadata from the source is crafted into the raw data vault and the data vault business vault metadata. But what we have is some kind of a hybrid setup where we have on the one hand side the cloud architecture, and then on the customer's infrastructure, whether it is on-premise or in the cloud, that doesn't really matter, or somebody else's cloud. We have a local agent that communicates with the source systems and also with the target systems to do the deployment. And that agent will actually harvest the metadata, only metadata, and that metadata is then transported to the cloud where the core application of VaultSpeed will do its magic and create the data vault model. So that's the way we've set it up, and it's that's the architecture, which is obviously quite secure way to do it. And then on top, of course, I mean, we use all the techniques that you should use nowadays to make sure that all the communication between the cloud and the local agent is set up in a secure way. So that's all provided.
So I may add that at Degroof Petercam we use Talent as our ETL tool, and we have quite a lot of experience with it. And with time we've built our own security layer around the ETL. And we were able to integrate that security layer as well inside the code generated by VaultSpeed. And that was for us really important to be able to do so.
Okay, but when I hear Jonas talk, you talk about data modeling, splitting objects, techniques to use. And I'm sure that VaultSpeed as a tool can simplify lives of data engineers, but do they have the required skills? Are they always up to speed?
What we always recommend is that they follow a Data Vault training. These trainings are provided by the Data Vault Alliance, of course, and all their authorized resellers, for example, Scale3 in Europe, Performance G2 or Data Rebels in the US, and some others across the globe. And on top of that, so of course, first you need to learn and know about Data Vault, I think. And I think Pierre will probably agree. And then on the other hand, we also provide VaultSpeed automation trainings, just to learn how to use our tool and don't make the obvious mistake that you would do if you didn't have a training like that.
Yeah, I really agree with you, because for me it's really important that people from different backgrounds, like developer, analysts, database administrator, and even project manager, do the certification of Data Vault 2.0 practitioner in order to have everyone with the same level of comprehension and using the same language. I think it will really help on every project and make the work faster. Yeah.
Talking about agility, how would you rate VaultSpeed when it comes to building new functionalities, adding stuff?
Okay, so around the last 3 years, we have had an excellent experience with the service of VaultSpeed. So VaultSpeed provides solution and also the skill and the delivery of their service partner, DataSense, really did contribute to make our project a success. And on the functionality side of it, I would say that we had many ideas of features that we wanted to be included into the tool, and you guys did it, so that's great. One of the example I have is the metadata export. And today we use that metadata export to build our own data lineage, and I think that's really a good thing to have.
Is there anything else you would like, Pierre?
Yeah, I think too. I have something in mind. I would like to use the API to be able to automate the metadata integration, but I think it will come soon.
Yeah, sure, it's coming quite soon indeed.
Cool.
Okay. So Pierre, we're gonna run it up. I have one last question. If you would talk to a peer or a colleague who is launching himself into a new or herself into a new data warehouse project, what recommendation would you give?
Okay, so I have really many recommendations, but I will focus on one, and it's about the loading of the data. So in the past, we had no CDC tool, and we had a source that contains different tables where we were not able to rely on column to have a date or a timestamp to help us to reduce the data for the extraction. So at that time we extracted every day the full table, and you need to understand that when you are processing that data into the enterprise data warehouse, the comparison with the HDIF can take a long time because you have maybe a lot of volume. But we move forward from that because business were already happy and received their data and a report on time. And we put that on the backlog saying, okay, let's try to find a solution for it. And we lived like that for a few months. And then, of course, we went back on our backlog and we said, okay, we find an elegant and a quick solution for it. And we were able, to reduce our data and really gain time for the loading. So this is really important for me to insist on not delay any kind of backlog performance that you may have. Of course, people and company are always focused on project and so on, but your backlog is as well really important. And if you have a CDC tool, of course, use it.
Yeah, makes sense indeed.
Okay, thanks a lot, guys. Thanks a lot, Pierre. Thanks a lot, Jonas. Thanks a lot for our online audience. And if you have any more questions, just visit us on VaultSpeed.com.
Thank you.
Thanks. Bye.